And don't listen to the propaganda. The Wall Street Journal is not going to tell you the right person to vote for. The Wall Street Journal and the New York Times are going to tell you to vote for someone who will protect corporate interests and corporate profits. Vote for a man that stands for people's needs first. And that candidate is Bernie Sanders. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't tell people, oh, you're wasting your vote. No, it's time for the American people to stand up and say what we really want. And what we really want is universal health care for all. What we really want is free public college education. What we really want is a $15 minimum wage. What we really want is our money spent on people's needs at home and not on unjust foreign wars abroad. That's what we want. And that's why you should vote for Bernie Sanders. Let us be perfectly clear on the choice that we have on June the 7th. The choice is this, brothers and sisters. The choice is the status quo, or the choice is the type of change that Dr. Martin Luther King stood for. And if you want what Dr. King stood for, then you should vote for Bernie Sanders. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th. Don't be afraid. Don't listen to the naysayers. ABC and NBC and CBS, they're not going to tell you the right person to vote for. They're going to tell you to vote for someone who's going to protect the 1%, who's going to protect the ruling class, who's going to protect the top 500 corporations. That's who they're going to tell you to vote for. We need to vote for a person that stands for people's needs first. People before profit. And that candidate is Bernie Sanders. I have no doubt whatsoever that if you vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th, you will be casting the vote for the right person. Don't surrender your vote. Don't surrender, brothers and sisters. Don't stay home. Don't listen to people who say voting doesn't matter. Don't listen to people who say things can never change. Don't listen to people who say you can't beat City Hall. Those people are wrong. Those people are wrong. All of history shows us that when the people stand up for change, when we stand up together, when we unite with one another, when we fight for what is right, then we make change. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th. Don't be afraid. Don't be hesitant. Don't surrender. Don't surrender your vote. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th. Everybody out to the polls. Everybody out to the polls. Nobody stay home. On June the 7th, if you're registered to vote, then you can go to the polls and cast your vote for the candidate who you think should be president of the United States. And we are here today, the People's Organization for Progress. We are here today to say that the candidate that we think should be president of the United States is Bernie Sanders. He is the candidate that wants universal health care, free public colleges, $15 minimum wage, tax the rich, make them pay their fair share. That's Bernie Sanders. That's who we should be voting for. Don't be afraid, brothers and sisters. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Now is the time to take a stand. Yes, take a stand. Take a stand that might not be popular, but take a stand for what is right. And what is right on June the 7th is to vote for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was the candidate that was marching with Dr. Martin Luther King. Bernie Sanders was the candidate that was chained together with a black woman and went to jail in the fight for better housing. That's what Bernie Sanders was doing in the 60s. What was the other candidate doing? That other candidate was supporting Barry Goldwater. That other candidate was supporting Barry Goldwater that voted against the Civil Rights Act that Martin Luther King was fighting for. We have to be perfectly clear on what is going on here. It is a choice. It's a is. Don't be afraid to stand for what is right. I know everybody says it's over, but it ain't over until it's over. We gotta fight for every vote and every delegate up to the convention. So vote for Bernie Sanders. People say, well, I don't know if I should vote with my heart or vote with my head. We say on June the 7th, vote with your heart. Vote for what you really want. And what do we want? We want universal health care for all. We want free public college education. We want $15 minimum wage. We want the rich to pay their fair taxes. And we want peace, not war. And that's what Bernie Sanders stands for. And that's why you need to vote on June the 7th. You need to come to the polls. Don't surrender, brothers and sisters. Never surrender. When you stay home, you are surrendering to the forces of oppression and reaction. When you don't vote, you are surrendering to people who don't want change. When you don't vote, you are surrendering to people who want to hold us back and turn back the clock. Don't surrender. Always stay in the fight. Go to the polls on June 7th. And when you go to the polls, vote for Bernie Sanders, who for 30 years has been pushing a progressive agenda. 30 years he's been in office and been pushing for the people's needs. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th. Everybody out. There's an important election, and that election is going to take place on Tuesday, June the 7th. And everybody needs to go to the polls. Go to the polls, go vote before you go to work. If you can't vote before you go to work, vote when you get home from work. But don't let that polling place close before you go and cast your vote. We want all the young people to vote on June the 7th. Look at our young people today. They're being saddled with tens of thousands of dollars of debt and student loans. There's no reason for that. This country is rich enough to provide free public college for every young person that wants to go to college. Let's end indentured servitude for our young people. That's right. They're indentured servants to the banks. They'll be paying these bank loans off until they're 40 and 50 years old. Why should a young person graduate from college $50,000 in debt? That defeats the whole purpose of going to college. If you end up graduating $50,000 behind the 8 ball. On June the 7th, vote for the only candidate who's saying public college should be free for all young people. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June the 7th. That's why we're here today. The People's Organization for Progress. We're a grassroots organization. We fight for racial, social, economic justice and peace. And today we're here in the political fight. And now I'm going to bring the councilwoman from Orange, New Jersey, who is out here. She's the only one out here with us. She was the only one that stood with little Marilyn Zuniga when they fired her because her students engaged in an act of compassion. But they tried to defeat her at the polls, and she defeated them and got reelected. So we're going to hear right now from our sister, our freedom fighter, our People's Tribune on the Orange City Council, Donald K. Williams.
Hello, everybody. My voice is not the same as Larry's. I'm a soft-spoken person, unless. We're here today in the beautiful city of Orange, New Jersey. And June 7th is the primary. And I want to remind everybody that at the sound of my voice that Orange has 30,000 residents. We boast 16,000 plus registered voters. Everybody, come out, as Laurie says, and cast your vote. And when you don't cast your vote, you still vote for whatever happens. And often people say, when you don't vote, don't complain. But that's a shame, because we are still held responsible for the people we represent. So irregardless of who votes and who doesn't vote, we still have to represent. But the problem is, when their interests are not manifested at the voting polls, and then you want us to pave streets, you want us to have programming for our students, you want us to do so many things, provide housing, provide assistance for housing, but when we don't have the right people in office, those things can't happen. So I'm encouraging you, I'm urging you, I'm begging you, please come out and vote on June 7th. Vote for Bernie Sanders, the candidate that represents the issues that are pressing here in the city of Orange. Vote, 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 vote often, bring your household, make it a beautiful opportunity. Plan with your family. Guess what? Come on, we're going out on an outing with mommy. Come on, let's go. Go into that voting booth and let that young child see that you are pressing those buttons for the interest that you need to be represented in City Hall and down in the County Hall, all the way down to 1600 in D.C. So let's go. Let's vote, vote, vote. Vote for Bernie Sanders on June 7th. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to march now. We want everybody to come over from the corners. Come on over back to where we started. And we're going to get ready to march down Main Street for Bernie Sanders in Orange, New Jersey. And we're going to make an important statement today. That's right. Vote for Bernie Sanders. Steve, you're going to be the lead banner. You got it in your hands, so do the one. Just come stand behind the police car right here. I'm going to take it down, and we're going to carry it. No, single file. Not enough. It's not enough for two.
Yeah, I can push it. Yeah. Save over in this farm.
Alright, everybody, let's line up. We're going to line up single file behind the police vehicle. So single file. Single file. Just be careful, don't get hit.
Hold this one. From the court.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
I started when we saw speaking.
Yeah.
So I got to get this.
Good. Thank you, brother. Good idea.
I'm a cameraman now.
I hear you, brother. You needed one of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I should have asked if you wanted a cameraman, but he didn't.
Single file. What? No. No, wait. Is everybody in line? Everybody ready? All right. Yeah. Not too much space, but some space. Kendall, you gotta keep up. You gotta keep up.
Oh, okay.
All right. Who do we want? When do we want it? Who do we want? When do we want it? Who do we want? When do we want it? Who do we want? When do we want it? Who do we want? When do we want it? Who do we want? When do we want it? Who do we want? When do we want it? All right, hold up. Everybody hold up. Stop. Looks important.
All right, how you doing?
What's the matter? I remember when we started on the little FaceTime. That's the post office right there. They had the SWAT trained on them. Had their license. They trained on them. That's Bloomfield too, that's right. That's right.
How are you?
What happened? So he's not moving.
I thought I was another one was the long time. Hey, Mr. Johnson, how are you? Okay, how are you? All right.
Y'all space out so that the people can do. Oh, we got it now. We got a bunch of time. Thank you. Thank you anyway.
I don't even know. Good question. He's talking about. I hope we walking back. Cause I thought he's talking about we all going. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's what they're trying to see. This way of safety. We want to try to stay on the street. They need to block the street off. This shit is important. Yeah. You can't have this be going on the sidewalk. Yeah. You know what? Get this on. You can't have it going on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know who got it. I don't want to go like that. I want to talk. Hey, Donna.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Oh, yeah, do that. Guys, let's move on the sidewalk now, please. Move on the sidewalk now. Over the sidewalk now, here, y'all.
What?
On the sidewalk now.
He's talking to
Getting on sidewalk. I'm recording myself.
Okay.
Ain't nobody never told getting on sidewalk. This is unbelievable.
Right behind you. Right in front of you.
Something wrong here. Oh, about we gotta get on sidewalk. Now. Ain't nobody never told us to get on the sidewalk.
Right,
There's something wrong here. There's something else we gotta protest about.
You're right. You're right.
You know?
You're so right.
This is racist.
You're right.
Anytime they tell you gotta walk on the sidewalk, that's racist. And we have to protest against racism.
Yeah.
I thought everybody gonna want to see this video when I get finished recording it. And they won't be shocked.
Right.
And I will post it.
Yeah, so you don't want to take your jacket off and put it in your bag?
Yeah, maybe
while I'm standing here?
hold the camera.
Okay.
Right.
Right. And it's like 90 degrees out today. Put it on there. No, I don't mind, brother. I don't mind at all. Okay.
That's why I come out to see what was going on. You know, so I can see from my own eyes.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Now I know what's going on.
You're right. You're right.
Gonna have to start coming out.
Yeah, well, that's good, man.
I'm gonna have to start coming out.
Yeah, hold that up because we don't want you to pass out out here.
You know, I want to get Lawrence Hands on here. I want him to, we got to speak about this. This is the news right now.
Yeah.
This I report this, but this is also the news right now because I see what's going on, what's really going on for their own eyes.
It's still, that's light enough? You can put that in your bag.
That's a real problem here. You got racism, I don't want to say it, but
Right.
say it.
You can say it. It's on camera, though.
What? I'm saying
Okay.
got racism with the police. Saying we gotta walk on the sidewalk.
Yep. Yep.
This is the first time I hear this.
Yeah.
Something wrong.
All right, brother. You want to take this?
Yeah. Now I see more police coming. And is that your bag? Oh, that's your one. And I wanted to see what's going to happen next. See, I have to know the truth. I have to know the truth. What's really going on. Not what you think it is, but what's really going on. I'll be out here some more. I'll be out here. People need me. And I'll be back. Okay, good. Okay. Get up there. Thank you. I'm getting this all on thing, alright?
We need to talk for a second. Everybody come over for them. There we go.
The councilwoman put in the application for us to march in the street. And she said it was approved by the mayor's office. The police are forcing us to march on the sidewalk. So, no, don't need
Question.
Let him finish.
Question. Police was here when we got here at 12. So obviously, we don't need them to walk on the sidewalk. So obviously, the police was told that we were going to march in the street. Else we wouldn't have been here.
You asked me, and I thought I was walking down the street. When the police side lane, go up there and come back on the side lane. He said, okay. He said, okay. Well, I don't know what happened, but the captain, now has told, because that's what Dinah was waiting for the captain to come in, and the captain told her that we had to march on the sidewalk. So do y'all want to march on the sidewalk? Or do you want to defy the order of march? Huh? Or do you want to march in the street? That's 24. That's do what you do. It's tough. There's only 24 people. Most police departments would keep you on the sidewalk. And the court,
Whatever, and we'll follow up with a letter.
what the court sends a hold is that you have a right to the streets if you can't sit on the sidewalk reasonably. So 24 people, that's a tough argument to make.
But the application was actually presented with one lane going down on the east side, coming back on the west side, one lane. They asked about security. We assured them that we had parade marshals that had been have done this before and who have done this. I didn't actually to top it off. I sent them a video of Montclair to show them how it was done in Montclair.
Yeah.
So everything that they needed to have, and at my point, as of yesterday, it was approved to do the eastbound lane down in the street and the west lane down.
Do we have a written plan?
We don't have the documents for this yet.
Well, you know, we can do it and see what cops do. They're not going to arrest 24 people.
That's true.
They might arrest some.
Well, we could just
And of course, usually you like to stop it.
Well, they're going to stop it, and they're going to cause. There's not going to be any. But let me be clear. There is not going to be any pause at the intersection. That's where the police will be. They will make it a continuous flow. Captain Bogier. Yeah.
Who's this? Well, what? Well, it's up to the group. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think
the union rules, comply and fight. Comply and fight. All right. Okay, walk with us today. Join us anywhere, you know? That's okay.
Don't brag on that.
You know what I'm going to tell you guys about.
Sold us out already.
But guess what's going to happen? So we're trying to plan here. We're trying to get organized.
Keep us on the sidewalk. The court would likely agree if they could keep us on the sidewalk for the March of 2014. How you doing?
Well, I would say, I tried to call everyone. That's what I was going to say. I tried to call me everyone. I tried to call Director Wade. I haven't got any of the votes yet. But I would say, let us do, union rules. Comply and fight. Comply and fight. Let's do some strong letters to top and, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. I can email it. I have it on email. And this is the deal.
Why do you feel that Bernie Sanders can be appointed?
I'm not a Bernie Sanders. I'm a I don't think the people will elect Bernie Sanders. I don't think I think this is a very progressive idea, but I don't think America is ready. I don't think I don't think I don't think most progressive. But you know what? I don't. I am aware of the three-step rule. And I'm aware. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what was going on at that time. Okay. You had 13 to 12-year-olds. You had 13 to 12-year-olds. I don't want to do anything with you, but at the time, not only that, the Black Caucus supported that at the time. What I'm saying, you had 13-year-olds. You had some, people going on the street. I listen to the FBI. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, are you electable or do you support them in college? Do you know what they are? First of all, I think she's more electable. But I don't think this country is ready to invest categories as Bernie Sanders. I'm not against it. I think we have a very progressive idea. I think they're good. But guess what? There has to be what should I say? There has to be a form of people a pursuit in terms of putting these things in process.
You want to ask me some questions? You want to interview me?
I got one question if you can answer it.
Okay.
I got to go here and I know
you get your first and last name, please?
I said I'm doing like that.
And why are you supporting Bernie Sanders then? Making sure that they think who they said actually what they found out your house was broken bad warehouse Take your time to do that. That'll be on TV. Yeah.
So much to learn.
it's time to stop for one person. Girl, I want to be in that number. When we touch on one person. Stand up and feel the birds. Stand up and feel the birds. Feel the birds. Stand up and feel the birds. Oh, I want to be in that number. When we stand up and feel the birds. Feel the birds. And feel the birds. And feel the birds. When we stand up and feel the birds. All I want to be in that number. When we stand up and feel the birds. Feel the birds. Hey. No, don't do it. What?
Everybody come in for a minute, and we're going to get ready to proceed. Today's action for Bernie Sanders was a permitted action. That is, Councilwoman Donna Williams, the re-elected councilwoman here in Orange, New Jersey, put in an application for this march describing exactly what we were going to do. It is what we have done in most demonstrations, 99% of the demonstrations that have been held by the People's Organization for Progress. We contacted the authorities in advance, City Hall. Councilwoman Williams obtained the application. We put on the application exactly what we were going to do. And that is, we were going to march in the street, and we were going to take what the police call the curb lane. That is, we were not going to march down the middle of the street. We were going to march in that lane of the street closest to the curb. This is what we've done in Orange before. Many of you remember the Earl Faison case, where Earl Faison was tortured and killed in the Orange police station by 5 Orange police officers who all went to jail. They were found guilty of civil rights violations. But for several years, the police said that they didn't do anything wrong. In fact, when they filed their report, they said that Earl had fallen off the chair and died. But the truth of the matter was that they had beaten Earl at the scene. They had taken him to the police station and beaten him some more. And then Officer Smith, 2 brothers, one was, I believe, Tom Smith, he took the pepper spray and sprayed it directly into the mouth of Earl Faison, causing his lungs to collapse, trapping the oxygen in his lungs and causing him to die. And after that, for nearly 2 years, the police persisted in the myth that Earl Faison died of his own volition. In fact, the state of New Jersey failed to even convene a grand jury in the Faison case, because murder is a state statute. And the state didn't even convene a grand jury. There wasn't even an investigation. And the People's Organization for Progress, together with the Faison Williams family, called upon the U.S. Attorney for the state of New Jersey to do the same thing that they did in the South during the Civil Rights Movement when they killed civil rights workers. Because when they killed civil rights workers in the South, the state did not do any investigation there either. So we called on the U.S. Attorney to come in and determine if the civil rights of Earl Faison were violated. And after nearly a year's investigation, the U.S. Attorney for New Jersey determined that Earl Faison, and this is the U.S. Attorney, these are his words, he died in a stairwell of torture. That he was tortured to death. Not in Latin America, not in Africa, not in Asia. He was tortured to death in the police station on the corner of Lincoln Street and Tremont Avenue. That station is now closed, but the building is still there. And 5 officers were brought up on federal civil rights charges and conspiracy. The civil rights charges relating to the torture of Earl Faison and conspiracy related to their efforts to cover up the crime. Almost immediately after the death of Earl Faison, we began to have marches here in Orange. We had many marches in Orange. Every march that we had was in the street. There was never an incident. No one was ever arrested. There was never a confrontation. In fact, we could have held those marches without any police escort. Because at that time, the police didn't want to escort us anyway. Because we were trying to send 5 of their colleagues to prison where they belonged for the murder of an innocent man. So here we are today for something much more innocuous, and that is the constitutionally guaranteed right of the citizens of the United States to elect the president of this country. That's why we're here today. We're not here about police brutality. We're not here about police unjustly arresting people. We're not here for any controversial cause. We're here about the presidential election, the primary of which is in less than 2 weeks on June the 7th, and the general election in November. And we're here for Bernie Sanders, because that's what we believe is the best person to be the president of these United States, not because of any personal qualities, but because of his platform, what he stands for: universal health care, free public education, $15 minimum wage, make the rich pay their fair share of taxes, use our tax dollars for jobs, housing, and health care at home, and not for unjust foreign wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and other places. That's why we're here today. We're here to do something that is constitutionally guaranteed. And Councilwoman Williams put in an application for us to march in the street, and that application was approved. Now, somehow, between not the time that the police first arrived, because when the police first arrived, we told them what we were going to do. The vice chairman spoke to the officer, told him what we was going to do, and the officer didn't raise any objection. It seems that in a short period of time, someone, police captain or somebody, issued an order to countermand our federally protected right of freedom of assembly. And you know, it's so ironic. I remember this town when there were no black police officers in this town. I'm old enough to remember when black people couldn't even move into Orange. If you weren't already in Orange, you couldn't move here. And I can remember when there were no black police officers in this town. And now we find black police officers are being used to, in fact, circumscribe and prohibit our officially permitted march in the street and our constitutionally guaranteed right of freedom of assembly. The irony of this situation surely cannot be lost on anyone. Now, these officers that are here, they're only doing what they were told. They didn't make the decision, but I can't help but point out the fact that they are doing the same thing that white racist officers used to do in the South to civil rights protesters. This is the same thing. Now, they just had a movie about Selma. And what happened during Selma? Dr. King didn't have a permit. That's what the police confrontation was all about. Remember, they attempted to cross Selma 3 times. 3 times. The first time Dr. King went over Edmund Pettis, he did not have a permit, and that was the pretext upon which the police tried to stop them and did stop them and beat them and hurt them and broke their bones. John Lewis, who is a congressman today, had a brain concussion, had a fractured skull. He got that on the Edmund Pettis Bridge by the police, because the police were used to circumscribe civil rights protesters' right to march over the bridge. And here we are today. How ironic. We're in a town with a black mayor, in a town with a majority black city council, in a town with a black, is the police chief black, with a black police chief, and black police directors, and black officers, and we can't exercise our constitutionally guaranteed right to march in the street. That is a disgrace. That is a disgrace. That is a disgrace. It is a disgrace, and it is an affront to everything that black people have fought for in this country for the last 75 years. So, today we're faced with a choice. I mean, several things could happen. I mean, people might be angry enough to just go into Main Street right now and sit down. Because that's what Dr. Martin Luther King would have done. They would go into Main Street and they would sit down and be arrested. That's one thing that could possibly happen. Another thing that could possibly happen is that we could defy the counterman to our officially permitted event and march in the street anyway without a police escort. That could also happen. It could happen. But I did not prepare you for that in advance because I assumed that the city of Orange would obey its own rules and regulations. Remember, we didn't just show up here. We asked for permission. We put in for an application. The application was approved, and at the 12th hour, somebody said we can't do what the application was approved for. And somebody should raise this to the city government here in Orange. And those of you who go to church here in Orange, you need to raise it in church. The next time somebody raises the name of Dr. Martin Luther King and what a great guy he was, ask them why people couldn't do what Martin Luther King did on Main Street in Orange, New Jersey. Ask them that. This is a disgrace. It's an affront. And I'm telling you today, on Tuesday, I'm going to go to the American Civil Liberties Union, and I'm going to ask them to enjoin the city of Orange in court on this matter. And we will return, I guarantee you, we will return to Orange, and we will march in the streets. Now, because I had not prepared you, because I did not know that this was going to happen, I came here with a good spirit, knowing that we had done everything that we were supposed to do. I did not prepare you to have a confrontation with the police. I did not prepare you to bring bail money to get arrested, because believe me, I am so upset right now that I literally am willing to go to jail over this. I'm willing to go to jail over this. But out of my respect for Councilwoman Williams, her counsel on this matter, the counsel of my vice chairpeople, the People's Organization for Progress, I'm going to accept their counsel that we should march on the sidewalk today. But I'm telling you, on Tuesday, because we just marched in Montclair, New Jersey. We marched in the street, and we were escorted by black police officers in Montclair. The deputy police chief is black, and he personally led us up Bloomfield Avenue. Wouldn't that have been a better role for the black police today to lead black people up Main Street, exercising their rights, telling people to vote, telling people not to surrender their vote, telling people not to be apathetic? Wouldn't it have been better for our officers to have done that than what they're being told to do today? Because they didn't make the decision. But you can't get away from the symbolism that is here. There's a biblical symbolism here. It's biblically deep. For those of you that believe in such things.
Can we get a picture with them? When they do whatever they're going to do?
So we're going to march down the sidewalk. But we're going to go into court on Tuesday. And once that is resolved, we're going to come back to office. I don't know if we'll be able to come back before June 7th. But we will return. This is crazy. This is madness. This is in contravention to everything we struggle for. What was one of the main things we struggled for in the Black Power movement? We said we wanted the white police officers were violating our rights. We wanted black police officers so that our rights wouldn't be violated. Now we got black police officers and our rights are being violated. This is a disgrace. And if the black officers have any kind of association of their own, if there's a black police officers association, then they need to take this issue up. They need to take up the issue of why they were used to stop black people from exercising their constitutional rights. And other people, because it's not just black people out here. There are white people out here, black people out here, Latino people out here. We're all here. But we cannot do what we applied and were approved to do. And that's a disgrace. That is a disgrace. I can't tell you how I'm not really mad. I'm hurt by this. I'm mortally wounded by this. Because it goes against everything that we stand for. And I'm going to tell you something. If this was not a Sanders campaign event, it would be a different course of action that I would advise. But because this is a Sanders campaign event, we are also accountable to the Sanders campaign committee. And we've already had discussions. We had this kind of discussion when Montclair said we weren't going to be able to march.
Let's like MacArthur. Let's let them know we shall return.
We shall return. MacArthur. We shall return.
And Larry, I'm talking from the back because I'm recording you. I want you to know that I'm a council person.
Right.
And when the mayor needs to cross off the street, you don't have to put in an application.
No.
And the council shouldn't either.
Right.
We are equal.
That's right.
In representing this city.
That's right.
And I want you to know that I spoke to the mayor. And I invited the mayor here that nothing in the city of Orange should go out or people coming to the city without the mayor greeting them and wishing them well. So he was asked to be here no later than 11:45 a.m. So he could be the first person to speak to the people. And then I went on to speak to his chief of staff, Tashami Cooper, who's a council person also in his son. And I explained to her that there are veteran marshals in this parade, in this rally and parade, that are used to doing this. And then I went to the next step and I sent them the videos from Montclair to show how the marshals were able to keep it in control. So it's unfortunate that we are standing here after 1 o'clock that an exercise to engage the people of Orange to come out and vote could have been done in 15 minutes down Main Street and 15 minutes up Main Street. So something that would have happened in 1 hour. We have won 2 hours just because people want to take their power and use it in the wrong way. But this is the city. These people belong to the city of Orange. Not the 7 people sitting on council or 1 person sitting in the mayor's office. So yes, I as a park member and as a city council person in the city of Orange will be back with you. And the first made awareness before the city government will be raised on June 8th at the city council meeting.
Yes.
Because enough is enough.
That's right.
Because when you work for the people, you got to work for the people.
That's right.
And that's all I have to say.
That's right. Give a hand. Tom Reynolds is here. Tom is the former president of the Montclair NAACP. He is also the delegate for Bernie Sanders in this district. Give him a hand. First I want to apologize for being late. I woke up this morning and that 1 ear infection I get a year started today. But I'm here, and I'm just equally as offended that we can't march in the street, that we can't enjoy what we thought was going to be our basic right today. But I want to speak briefly because there's something we need to do. I keep going through places like Montclair, like Orange, East Orange, and hearing how Bernie Sanders doesn't have a chance. Bernie Sanders is not going to win somehow. And yet, every time I turn around, I see another Bernie sign on the lawn, another person talking about how he makes sense, about how we all believe that what he's saying makes sense. And then you also see the polls, which are saying that he could beat Trump better than Hillary can.
Right, exactly.
So now, well, Elizabeth Warren the other day did an interview, and she said the Democratic Party is already changing because of the level of conversation that Bernie Sanders brought in. We're no longer having conversations about whether we should, whether certain people deserve the right or, everyone deserves the right. But as Democrats, we're saying, yes, everyone deserves the right. We need to make it happen now. It's not a conversation on whether or not, some people deserve affordable health care or completely free health care, but as Democrats, we agree that health care has to be given to everyone. We're no longer having conversations about whether you should be able to go to college or not go to college, but as Democrats, we're saying you've got to be able to go, whether it's affordable or free, you've got to be able to go. So because of Bernie Sanders, we're raising the quality of conversations. I think on June 7th, we need to make sure that we get every one of our friends, our family, our haters, our enemies, get them all out to vote to make sure that they know that New Jersey is going to stand with Bernie Sanders. That's right. Thank you. That's right. Give him a big hand. All right.
On this issue, we will be back. On this issue,
that's right.
We will be back.
We'll be back. So let's line up. Steve, come down front, and where's the Bernie? Susan, where's the Bernie banner? All right. Let's line back up on the sidewalk, and all right, everybody, single file. Just don't start marching yet. Let everybody get in order. Come on, folks. I know you're a little despondent.
Thank you.
Go on, right here, so I can get it. I got we don't put no.
This thing gonna put us on the sidewalk, but take up a lot of sidewalk. Spread it out. Make sure the people can read this side. Yes. Mike and him.
Okay, that's it.
All we need to do is go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, we gotta get the first court first.
Because you know why? Because they're showing they're gonna be keeping us down.
No, single file.
Can you
single file.
Can you report me? I'm on one.